Hey guys, it's Jessica Fury. Tune in every Monday for new episodes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy New Year, we're back. So I'm going to do a solo episode, first solo episode of the new year. I was throwing ideas out there for this solo episode and I was like, you know what? Let me do what's like going on in the ether right now, which is taking things from last year and tying them into this year, but tying them into a place of things that are positive. If you're new to this podcast and you're new to me, I'm Jessica Fury. I'm the host of Jessica Fury Podcasts. I want you to remember that liking, subscribing, and supporting, commenting, engaging in this podcast continues to thrive on the podcast space that I'm here creating, as well as continue to bring amazing guests onto this podcast. So I appreciate you listening and I appreciate you being here, and thank you for subscribing. So in today's episode, I put together a list of things from 2023 that I was like, these can either, I can take them and apply them into this year, or I can completely discard it. So let's get right into it. So the first thing on my list is, and I put this on my phone today, so I wanted to like really get diligent on my notes, is that you can't control other people. I know that we've all heard about this, but I was like really thinking about it, because in those moments that we want to control other people, we're like, fuck, like, why can't they just do it this way? And I was like really thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? If I can accept that I can't control people, but I can control the way I handle it and how I react to it, as well as I can control the situation where if I'm respecting myself, then I'm initially going to respect the other person, their views, their thoughts, their actions. But that doesn't mean that what I continue to do within my business is going to be something negative. So by looking at not being able to control people, maybe not looking at it as something that it's a bad thing, but more of like an acceptance thing. You know, like I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And it's almost like live and let live. And you guys have probably heard that before. So you can't control people, but we can control how we do certain things within ourselves. Okay, so number 2, and this one if you are in the business of real estate, you know that this is a business of making money, and this is a business of rejection. And that's a motherfucker sometimes, because my number 2 is learning to overcome rejection as a way of sharpening your own tools. So I had a call this morning and I was like so excited about it. And then I didn't get the job and I was really upset. Like, I was so upset. I was on my walk and I was like, sometimes initially like I'll cry because I get upset about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself this moment. I talked to like one of my girlfriends and she was like, okay, like give yourself the moment to be disappointed. But then like when you're ready to just like let it go, but don't feed the disappointment by making your whole entire day a disappointment. Like you can be disappointed about a situation, allow yourself to feel the feelings of that particular thing, and then take whatever time that you need and then get back on the horse. It's almost like there's this quote by Lao Tzu. You'll have to look it up, or I'll just put it below and you guys could see what it says. It's fall down 7, get up 8. And it's like this Chinese proverb where it's like, fall down 7, but get up 8 times. Like, okay, you get the disappointment, you get the rejection, give yourself the time, and then get up and continue with whatever it is that you need to continue to do with. Because my positivity for this moment is like, okay, the rejection, I can sharpen my own tools by what am I doing that's actually helping me to move forward in my business, to get better with rejection. Because rejection is something that's always going to be there in this business, whether or not you're just like, fuck, I wish it was never there. But let me try to work through that rejection, that I continue to just sharpen that part of myself, to strengthen whatever part it is. Maybe it's like not enough, like not feeling enough to do a job, or a disappointment of not doing something good enough for the person you're interviewing for or trying to get that listing for. Whatever it is, like you're just going to sharpen that one tool of whatever the initial emotion that comes up after you get those disappointing news. Because when you can look at it in a way that it's not negative, but you can know yourself a little bit more and learn more about yourself, you're going to evolve in a stronger way when you within your business as well as your mental state. You're going to be like, okay, this is what helps me to deal with rejection, give myself this time, overcome it, maybe talk some positivity to yourself, because you have to be your own best friend before you can like get out there and be there for other people in the capacity that you may need to serve yourself with. So sharpening those tools of rejection. I actually really love this one. And this is sort of going to be my thing that I need to sharpen my own tools of just like getting back on that horse and just working through whatever it is. Number 3, overcoming something that is challenging and trying to figure out, when you have those moments where you're trying to overcome a challenge and you're trying to figure out like, what do I do? And you're like spinning your wheels every single day, spinning your wheels, spinning your wheels, spinning your wheels. Everyone has experienced this. And maybe if you haven't, then props to you. But for the most part, people are like trying to figure something out, trying to figure something out. So what you're going to do is just stop what you're doing, and you're going to help another person. You're going to help another person because what it does, it gets you out of this chaotic state in your brain, and you're not giving yourself your own power in your brain for it to calm down, to make some space. So what you're going to do is you're going to get out of whatever it is you're doing by doing the complete opposite, which is helping another person, maybe checking in on another friend, maybe reaching out to another agent. Hey, can I sit your open house this weekend? Hey, I saw that you have a new listing at 123 Main Street. Just wondering, can I do a social media video there? Like, go help another person, because when you get out of yourself, you're going to go help another person, and you may come back to whatever that challenging thing is, and you may have peace of mind. You may have perspective. You may have creativity. You may have that inner energy that comes inside your body that you're like, oh, it's like, why didn't I think of that before? Like, when you get out of self, you will receive something as well. It's like karma. That's at least what I think. Okay, number 4 is staying creative. So this is exactly what I wrote down in my notes section. So you can literally hear what my brain is thinking, and I need to put things down in my notes section in order to like continue to be creative with that thought. So you're going to stay creative. You turn more to finding where your inner power lies instead of allowing the outside to dictate if you're doing something based off of the opinions of others. This is the fucking mother lode, because I was recommended this book, and if you're like sitting on your ass and you have nothing to fucking do, you can read this book probably in 4 hours. And it's called The Gap and the Gain. And if you read this book before, you're shaking your head. And if you haven't, you have to read this book. I was reading this book and it gave me like that little light switch in my brain. So it was like a couple things. And one of them was this exact thought where it's like, we measure our progress based off of a future goal, whatever that future goal is. Maybe in real estate, it's you're generating an income of $500,000 a year. Like maybe it's something like that. Or maybe you just actually want to start selling homes, but you haven't had that domino effect of things just snowballing and just moving at a pace that you have a business, you have a momentum, you have clients, you have people reaching out to you, you have a team, you have momentum, exactly what that is. But you're measuring based off of something that you haven't attained yet. Just because you haven't attained it yet, I want you to hear this, just because you haven't attained it yet does not mean you will not receive it. You just don't have it in the present day. But if you look at all the progress that you've made up to this point, yes, you gain perspective, but you also can look at it as a place of like, okay, you know what? I am going to turn more to my inner self, and I'm going to look at all the things that I've been doing towards my business, or maybe it's just your personal health. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're like overcoming a really fucking challenging time, and just the fact that you're like feeling better about yourself internally is really helping you. Like whatever it may be. The way that I like to turn to creativity, because for me, being creative has always, since like literally forever, being creative has always been something personal. Like I don't have to explain it to another person because it's personal. Like that's why there's hundreds of thousands. I think there's millions of podcasts right now, but it's like turning to something that's creative. You turn more to yourself, because a lot of us do this, and social media can actually be a deficit. Like it can really like get in your flow sometimes when you allow, oh my God, this person's has like 5 listings. This person has like 5 escrows this month. This person keeps closing. And I'm trying to fucking get past the rejection, or I'm just trying to get a listing appointment. I'm just trying to have conversations more than one conversation with persons to just give me a chance. So it's like, turn to your inner self. Maybe like give yourself that extra love, like, or maybe turn to creativity. Maybe grab a tripod and just be in your space at home with like a ring light and start to do like market updates. Turn to your inner self and stop giving the power to the outside to dominate and dictate where you're at. I'm at fault for this sometimes. I totally am at fault for this. But when I read this book, I was like, it gave me such a shift that I'll just end with this quote for this particular one. Steve Jobs said this, and I think it's in The Innovative Secrets of Steve Jobs, which is just like a whole other book. He says that we should, if we connect the dots of what we did in the past, we're going to have a little bit more perspective based off of where we are right now, as opposed to connecting the dots of something in the future that we can't even see. So we're better off just connecting the dots in the past. It's something like that, but just look it up and you'll get a little bit more idea about what I'm talking about. Okay, the next thing on this list, which is number 5, is make it a point in a conversation to focus on making a connection to what the person is talking about instead of thinking about what you want to say next. And a lot of us do this. I heard this, I think from I don't remember who said it. It was like a business coach. And he said, the most important conversation that you're having is the conversation that you're having with the person that's in front of you. Like the person who's fucking walking through the door, when you're having a conversation with the person who's in front of you, the person who's walking through the door has nothing to do with the conversation that you're having with the person that's in front of you. So if you stay present in the conversation instead of allowing your mind to be like, I just want to ask them about giving me an opportunity. I just want to ask them if I could sit their open houses. I just want to ask them if you stay present in the conversation, there's going to be a little bit more flow. There's going to be a little bit more connection, and you're going to be able to learn about the other person, that you actually may hear something that you may need to hear that may connect you in your business, or may connect you to a place of feeling good about yourself, receiving a compliment, receiving some positive feedback. So make it a point to be really present with the person that you're having a conversation with, and you will get the time in the conversation to ask your question. Don't discard that for a second. All I'm saying is be present with the person that you're having a conversation with. Like, give them your time. They're giving you their time. So stay present, make a connection, and then you can ask whatever question that you need to. Okay, on to the next. And I love this one. And this is like a new one for me. Use social media as a way to connecting to your sphere. So if you guys I don't know if you've had a chance, but in this episode with Michelle Schwartz, she made such an amazing point where she was like, when you see on Facebook that somebody just had a baby or somebody just got engaged, slide into their DMs and send them a DM. Send them a DM. Don't just write with 50 other comments, congratulations, slide into their DMs. Hey, how's it going? I recently connected with, and I'm going to butcher his name, maybe Christian can help me, Alex Horskowitz. Okay, so there's like this YouTuber and it's Alex Horowitz or something. He made $500 million in the digital space. I think that he bought out a bunch of gyms. You'll have to I will make it a point on this episode to put it in my show notes, what his name is, because I was listening to an episode with him last week. And in regards to the social media and reaching out to your sphere, he was like, your sphere is also people on social media that you know, on Facebook or Instagram or social or TikTok, writing them a comment, not as a form of just engaging in their post, but sending a DM, sending a message. Maybe sometimes emails can get, just so many people can get a lot of emails on any particular day. And Alex Horowitz. And I would definitely say that he just talks about that. He talks about sliding into the DMs. He talks about writing on somebody's comment. If somebody just had a baby and you know them, but you haven't spoken to them and you're congrats on being a dad at you know, Jessica J. Fury. I'm not a dad, but if I was like a mom, congrats on being a mom at Jessica J. Fury, and then slide into their DM. So now you're getting 2 touches. You're liking the picture. 3, excuse me, you're liking the picture, you're leaving them a comment, and then you're sliding into their DM. And then if they don't respond to you, send them a text, send them an email. Hey, congrats. Like, I heard this last week, and then Michelle would be like sliding into the DMs. I was like, I'm going to do this. It's like, it's on my list to do 10 of these a week. So if you're in real estate, or if you're in a customer-based business, this is a great thing. And I heard this initially from him where he was like, you need to do at least 10 or 20 a week. I mean, I think he does 100 a week and was doing 100 at a week, but made it a point that he was doing 100 taps, reaches, trying to reach in a customer base, reaching out to other people like weekly. So give yourself a number that you know that you can attain in your social media space to reach out to that sphere and make a connection to that person, no matter what it is. They don't have to be an initial customer, but it's just a reminder, hey, I'm in real estate. If you need anything, I'm happy to help. Again, getting out of self, offering help to another person. You never know, but you have to just make that initial connection. Okay, I heard this and I love this one. Like, it's almost like my new favorite, and that is too many opinions is too much. Okay, so let's say you're a real estate agent and you have this client and they're like really challenging. So you call your friend who does equal amount of business with you. You call him or her and you talk to them, blah, 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 blah. You tell them the situation. They give you their opinion, okay? They give you their opinion. You get off the phone with them, okay? You decide to call another one of your agent friends. Call them, him or her, blah, 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 blah. You let them know, okay? Now you have 2 opinions. 2 opinions. Great. 2 opinions is safe. 3 opinions is safe. Now, if you know where I'm going with this. But when you're like fucking calling 5 people, 6 people, now you're calling your mom, now you're calling this person, then you're calling your business manager. Like now you're calling 6 people, 7 people, where it's like, too many opinions is too much. It's just too much. You know, as a business owner, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to make mistakes that you're going to learn and grow out of. And you're also going to evolve as a business owner by learning how to get through that challenging moment to overcome whatever it is to make you stronger in your business. So in my humbled opinion, as I will say, too many opinions is too much. And this is actually not my opinion. This is what I believe to be a fact, because I've heard this on several occasions on different podcasts where they'll say like, you know, too many opinions is too much. So I would definitely say too many opinions is too much, and we'll go with that. Okay, so next one, learn a new skill. I had a client and they turned to me and they said, every year, I like to know a new skill. I like to know a new skill. I like to once a year make it a point to learn a new skill. And if you're in real estate, maybe that new skill is getting better in the digital space. Maybe learning how to make money in the digital space. Maybe learning a new skill is working with sellers. Maybe you've been working with buyers, learning a new skill. Maybe you want a little bit more about interior decorating. Maybe it's a new skill. Maybe it's something that you want to know a little bit more about art. Maybe you want to work with wealthy clients. Maybe you want to work in the luxury space. If you want to work in the luxury space, learn more about luxury. People that are buying houses for $20 million, $30 million, $40 million, they like luxury. They're not just buying a $20 million home to go buy fucking furniture at IKEA. Know a skill. Hey, you know what? I know a really great like posh location that they do custom. They're kind of like restoration hardware. And just like name the location. Luxury loves to hear more about luxury. Like they only make one fucking crocodile Hermes bag once a year. That's worth like 50 grand. Like, I mean, learn luxury. If you want to be in the luxury space, learn more about luxury. You don't have to know every single thing. But again, it's those little touches that people really love. Like, reminder, It's the touches and it's the connection that you're making in a customer base that's going to connect you to the other person. So learning a new skill set can be like such an amazing thing for your business. And it may also be something that you actually learn more about yourself. Maybe you didn't know that you had a skill in blah, blah, blah. And because you started to like pick up tennis, you happen to connect in a whole other way. So that is my thing. Okay, next thing. I want you to pick 5 people that you admire, and this is like a chart that you're going to make. And I don't remember where I heard this, but I'm sharing this is because I did it last week. And the suggestion that it was made was like, it was 10 people, but on this list for you guys, we're just doing 5 people. So you're going to write down 5 different people. And among those 5 people, you're going to write 1 to 5 skills or attributes that person has that you connect to, not any other person. Again, this is a personal exercise. You're not like showing anybody. This is like a way of just enhancing your own confidence and your own self-esteem and your ability to become successful in your business. That's why this is like a task that was like highly recommended. I don't even remember where I heard it, but I will make it a point that if I do remember, I will do a video on it. Okay, so you're going to pick 5 people that you admire, whoever those 5 people are. Among those 5 people, you're going to think of 1 to 5 different attributes or traits that person has. 1 to 5. 5 people, really simple. Maybe it's an agent, like a big agent. Maybe it's like Aaron Kerman. Maybe it's Mauricio Umansky. Maybe it's Billy Rose. Maybe it's Josh Altman. Whatever it may be. Like maybe it's Tracy Tudor. Maybe you have like 5 people. You don't have to know these people. Maybe you do know them. Any 5 people. It could be fucking Oprah. It could be Steve Jobs. It could be your sister. It could be your uncle. It could be your cousin. It could be your neighbor. It's 5 people. And you're going to write 1 to 5 qualities that you admire or any traits. Maybe you love their branding in those people. And then in the last column, you're going to pick 5 things that you can connect to those attributes to help you become successful in your business. So the first 2 columns are really simple. The third is something that is going to connect you to become more successful, more connected to your brand, more connected to your own attributes that make you successful in your business. And I highly recommend it. I did it the other day on a walk and it just like felt really good. And it sort of just like gave you that moment of like being with yourself. Last but not least, this is the most important thing on all of this whole entire list. And that is to prioritize self-care. I am a huge, huge, huge advocate of self-care. I take self-care as a priority every single day. The reason why I said to prioritize self-care is that some days in this business, in this real estate business, or even if you're going through a little bit more of a challenging time, maybe you just need a little bit extra self-care. For example, in many of my episodes, I talk about I do not touch the phone for the first hour to hour and a half of my day. I do this every single day. I love it. Lately, what I've been doing is I've been looking for a way to not be on my phone at nighttime. So I've been putting my phone down. I'm trying to put my phone down at least a half an hour to an hour before I go to bed. I'm not the best at this. Like my nighttime routine needs a little bit like tweaking. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I just want to be able to like stay in my power. And the reason I'm sharing that so openly and so personally is because I was reading something a couple weeks ago and it's like a little nerdy. And that's like people, they're like literally on their phone right before they go to bed. Literally. And then their phone is like right on their bedside. So it's like they're staying in this program of always having to like get some sort of connection to the outside world no matter what they're doing. And sometimes subconsciously when you're going to bed, those things can stay in your head, that you're not allowing like a full rest, relaxation to like rejuvenation that happens overnight. And if you're into like manifestation and intentions, that's like a complete opposite of anything that you want to do, because right before you go to bed and the first time in the morning, your subconscious brain is like this delicate little plant that like you have to water. You have to water it or it's going to die. So it's like prioritizing your self-care. Maybe like stepping away from your desk and going outside for like 20 minutes and then just coming back in and getting back to your calls. So these are the things that I wanted to tie in from last year, whether it happens personally within myself or they were just things that I connected to people from coming onto the podcast that I learned into this new year. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to like and subscribe to the podcast, and I will talk to you soon.